You're listening to Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers with your hosts Greg Barrett and Kane Holloway.
Want to intro the show, Greg? Or
No.
You want me to do it?
Yeah. You
Okay,
do the
great.
majority of talking. You do the majority of talking on the show. I'm comfortable with that.
You're good with that?
I'm comfortable with it.
And then you
Because then I just make salient points, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's true. It's a great dynamic. I talk too much because I'm dumb, and then you sit and you wait for your little moments.
Yeah.
Welcome to Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers. There's the synopsis. We're going to do a traditional intro of the show. I'm one of your hosts, Kane Holloway. We have
Greg Barrett.
And we have a guest today. That's why we're on Zoom. I'm back in LA, but we're on Zoom because we have the very funny, talented, and motivating speaker who I love dearly, Monica Nevi.
Hey, that's me.
And Monica just had her album come out, Mostly Finger Guns. And at the, like a month or two later, you had a meditation album come out?
Yeah, so at the end of October, the stand-up album came out. That's Mostly Finger Guns. And then a month later, the meditation album, which is called Chill, came out.
Awesome. How's the meditation album doing?
It's doing okay. It wasn't so interesting. When it first came out, it was a little less, it didn't do as well as the stand-up album, which was to be expected. But
Right.
Now that I've been touring again, people buy it after shows like a lot more than the stand-up album, which I'm like, you can get both of them, you know, but
Yeah.
I think I'm better at pitching it. But yeah, because I kind of sell it as like, if you haven't done meditation, this is great because it kind of makes, it's kind of makes fun of it and pokes fun of it. But if you have, this is great too, because it'll help you get your head out of your ass. So there's like a whole pitch to it that I think is working. So it's gotten more popular since I've been touring live again, which is exciting. Because I'm more proud of that one.
I've watched most of your meditations. I love them. I love them. When I met you, I was like, why didn't I do this? This is the funniest thing. They're so perfect. They're done exactly the way a meditation is done, and yet they are parroting it to a degree.
Yeah, it's interesting because I do meditate. It's not like I'm just making fun of it or anything. And I've done it for years and years. And so it's pretty calming. Like they're not bad if you actually listen to them. It's just, there's, dick jokes scattered throughout. And for the album, I had a composer from LA do original music. So the music by itself is actually pretty good anyways. So yeah, I like it. If it comes up on shuffle when I'm, traveling or driving or something, I'll let it play. If my jokes come up, I'm like, I'll skip this. But if a meditation comes up, I'm like, I'll listen to this.
Yeah, I can calm myself down. I have a nice soothing voice.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one. I just feel like it takes more convincing for people, like at least more like if I say, here's my stand-up album, they're like, yeah, I've seen you do stand-up before, I'll watch that. But if I'm like, oh, I have a guided meditation album that I guide you through, they're very confused by it,
I put out a couple of guided meditations that are kind of in the same genre. Like I have one called Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers.
Nice.
And but it's very motivating and it's very earnest. But it was hard to get people on board when I told them I was doing meditations. They're like, I don't understand. I'm like, I'm making meditations that you can listen to. And they're like, are they funny? And I'm like, well, they can be kind of funny, but I'm sincere about them.
Yeah, it is a tough, not a tough sell, but because it doesn't go either way. You're not like, oh, I'm just shitting on it. I'm making fun of it. None of it's actually relaxing, or the other way where you're like, none of it's funny. This is very like, it's a middle ground.
Yeah. And I had my friend Mike do the music as well. And so and I really love the music. I listened to the music by itself a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I got lucky. I would be like, because I have one track that's like, I think I called it Game Time, but it like supposed to hype you up. And I was like, can you do something kind of like the 96 Bulls song when they come out? And he was like, and he had to listen to it because he's not really a sports guy. And then he came back and I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is exact feel. So I got lucky with being like, hey, can you just make good music? And he was like, sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. What got you, why'd you start doing that? I remember you started doing that when you were down here in LA.
Yeah, so I had been trying to meditate just on my own for a long time. And just kind of struggled with the quieting of the mind, I guess. And so I had been trying to listen to some guided stuff, and they were all super like corny. Like I just started laughing. And I remember specifically, I was trying to lay down and listen to one, and the lady was like, you know, she got you all calm and let the bed hold you up and all that stuff. And then she goes, "You ever been in nature?" And I was like, "Are we talking? Like, what's happening?" I was like, I didn't know I was answering questions. And then I just started laughing really hard. And just from that, liked the idea of you actually really getting all the way relaxed and then having something, you know, a joke or something incorporated, and people kind of being like, "Wait, what?" You know?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You guide them in, you get them breathing, and you get them laying down or sitting, and you get them to like, you know, be focused on just the moment and all that kind of stuff. And then you tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
A nice calming way, though. Very calming.
Yeah. And they accept it because they're relaxed.
Yeah. I was having an anxiety attack one day. Like, not all meditation helps.
No.
Like, it's just like, for some reason, not all of it can be helpful. I was having an anxiety. I could feel one growing. I had like this little small ball of anxiety growing in my chest. And I'm like, this is going to turn into a panic attack if I don't do something. And so I was like, meditation, I'll meditate. And I found this like guided meditation, and it had that nice calming. You hear like these bells come on and gong, and you're just like, okay. And then you hear like the fluttering and some wind, and you're like, okay, I feel like I'm going to go calm. And all of a sudden, like this harsh British dude's voice popped in, and he's like, "Hello, we're going to do some calming meditation." And I was like, it's worse. It's fucking worse now. That guy's voice shot my stress level way up, and I'm like, can't listen to that guy. Never.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody has good intentions, but with anything that I've done as far as self-care stuff, it took me a while. Like, it took me a long time to be able to meditate on my own. Therapists, like I went through a lot of therapists before I ever found one that I was comfortable with. And so I think some people will try it a couple times and be like, "Oh, it's not for me," just because they had, you know, some crazy British guy yelling at them, and it should have been me or somebody else, you know? So
yeah, absolutely. I need like a female's voice. I don't know if it's my daddy issues. I'm sure it is. But I can't have a man telling me to calm down.
Really?
I can't have a man. Like, I like yours because I know you. So I think I like Greg's because I know how funny he is, and I know how like off the show he can be very supportive. On the show, it's a much different person. But like, so I like listening to the "Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers" one because it's funny, and you're a calming presence when we're just like hanging out, riding in the car on the way to do the show, or when we're gonna go do stand up. I never feel stressed out with you. But to have like some random disembodied guy's voice, especially like a gruff one, like a Guy Ritchie gangster. Okay, so you're sitting down and you pretend your body is floating against the wind in the ocean. And it's like, oh, no, because then you're gonna dunk me in and fucking drown me out.
You threw me in here. Yeah,
yeah. I like it though.
I think I can do it. Like, I could listen to an accent one, but it would have to be more relaxed. But I also like when I'm listening to a guided meditation of someone that I don't know, I'm trying to figure out what they look like too, like based on their voice, which I don't know if it's helpful or distracting, but I like need something to be speaking to me.
I find that it ruins it for me sometimes when I see what somebody looks like.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Oh no.
It's
You're
like reading
so much better looking in my head.
Yeah, it's like reading a book and you like create the characters in your mind, and then they make a movie and you're like, that's not what I had. That's not.
You have a really good voice though, Monica. You have a great voice for it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's so interesting getting older and having things you've always been pretty insecure about become a good thing, because I almost don't believe people. But I've had this voice since I was like 6. So it was real deep when I was young. People were like, why do you sound like that? So now people are like, I like your voice. I'm like, do you really? That's good. But yeah, I think it worked out. I grew into it. You know, some people grow into their ears. I grew into my voice.
Monica and I started doing stand-up comedy together. I remember the first time you were on stage, and I'm like, this is really pleasant to hear. It was like a very pleasant, and then you had like a really fucking off the wall joke. It was your strawberry preserves joke.
Oh yeah.
Which it's a classic Monica Nevi. She wants to name a band Strawberry Preserves, so when it's on the radio, she's like, "That's my jam."
It's very stupid.
I love it so much. I love performing with Monica because it's like I love when we are on the same show. It's just two different styles on the same show, and it's like it's never been a bad time.
We had a great week together.
Yeah, I really enjoyed working with. It was a kind of a. I was supposed to be with someone else, and then you were there, and I was very pleased with that.
Yeah, it was fun.
We got email in, which you can do at dtbffpodcast@gmail.com. We got an email in from Smokey Creepin. Smokey Creepin says, "Hey guys, thought I'd share my big fucker. Last November, I had a choice to take a nap or go for a bicycle ride. Well, I made the wrong choice. I got hit by a Jeep in an intersection. That was the first fucker. Second fucker was the ER doctor who told me my ankle was just sprained. They missed a broken talus bone in my foot. Third fucker was my doctor who reviewed the x-rays and said the same thing. So I went back to work after 3 weeks. I'd like to say my boss is definitely not a fucker. He was more than accommodating with me and my crutches. Fourth fucker, my doctor again. More x-rays and missed broken bone again. I finally asked to get referral to a specialist who found it right away. May 4th, I had 5-hour ankle rebuild surgery with bone grafts taken from my hip and knee. Prognosis is good, and the surgeon is happy with the outcome. My friends have been awesome, and my family is also awesome. I love the podcast and often find my coworkers staring at me while I'm laughing. Keep it coming. Cheers. Smokey Creepin'."
Wow. The thing with that is take a nap.
The moral of the story is take a nap.
Never try to better yourself physically. Never do it.
No, it's just dangerous.
Too dangerous.
It's too dangerous.
That fucking story is, I mean, that happens all the time. It's like, I think about that all the time. Like, there's people who are in positions like doctors, like we give them a lot, but they're still people. They make a lot of mistakes all the time.
I went to a doctor with a stomach ache and he said, "Oh, you've got gas, like indigestion." And then that stomach ache continued until it was re-diagnosed again as cancer. I just wanted to mention I had cancer.
I knew
You should have taken a nap.
Should have taken a nap.
Maybe you wouldn't have gotten
cancer.
Stop eating all that candy, you fucking idiot. Go to just take a nap. Yeah, Monica, you're an athlete. You're always trying to better yourself.
I appreciate that. Still, you would still consider me an athlete. Yeah, actually, as you were reading that, I have a very similar story. It wasn't a bicycle accident, but my freshman year in college, I played basketball in college, and it was the first day of our conditioning. So you start conditioning before you can actually practice. But I was just getting shots up outside of my parents' house, and I came down on a curb on my ankle. And nobody was there. I had to crawl to the house, and then my mom didn't have her car, so I had to drive myself to the doctor. And then they took x-rays, but didn't see anything was broken, thought it was a bad high ankle sprain, and we treated it as that for a while. And then I just we tried to play on it, would tape it like crazy. And my athletic trainers, it's pretty common for athletes, for male or female, doesn't matter, for them to push you to play a little bit faster than you probably should. I think a lot of injuries, if they were just take your time, it'll heal, just stay home, but here it's okay, we have 3 weeks and this is what you have to do every day. I had to come in and do all these different exercises. And then I had to do a game ready ice, which is it's a boot where they put cold water through it and it compresses it at the same time. She was massaging it, which was the most painful thing I think I've ever been through, just to move the bruise around, the edema, then it heals faster. So we're doing all these aggressive things for me to be able to play, and it just wasn't getting better. And so we had an MRI. I think it was 3 months after, which is a long time for it to have not healed. And it turned out that it was broken the whole time. And I was playing on it. And then there was a dent really in the surface of my ankle joint. So there's a piece of it that's flipped out, which gets caught still sometimes. But it changed it probably changed my whole life. So I had to redshirt that year. Then we switched coaches and she didn't like me. And I tried to play my sophomore year, but it kept I was injuring other things because of it. And then I ended up not finishing my career being able to play because of this injury and potentially playing on it when I shouldn't have, you know? So as he was describing that, I'm like, no, don't tell him the wrong thing. God.
Yeah. Holy shit, dude.
I mean, I started stand-up my junior year in college, probably because of this, but you know, basketball and stand-up, they're both the same.
Yeah, dude. I when I had my jaw broken, I had my jaw wired shut. I forgot all about this. So I needed to get the wires out. Like the 2 months of healing was coming up, and Kelsey, my ex, her grandfather is like a famous plastic surgeon who like knows a bunch of doctors. He hooks me up with a doctor, a dentist who can like take this shit off. And I remember, and it's for free. Like the dude's doing it pro bono, which I'm perfectly, you know, like I'm stoked for that. I'm getting pro bono dental work. I'm getting the wires taken out. Great. So, but there's 2 steps to it. The first step is you got to snip the wires that clamp the mouth shut. And then you got to remove those. I'm sitting on the fucking thing. And he snips the first wire and then removes it. And it's just like he's taking my head with it because it's attached. It's been attached to the wires for 2 months. So he's like pressing his palm onto my chin and like removing it, removing the wire like it's stuck to the fence or something. Then he snips and I can kind of feel like he didn't snip the other wire all the way. There's still a little bit attached. And he grabs the little pliers and then he goes to yank and my entire skull goes with it. It felt like, you ever play Mortal Kombat, Monica?
Mm-hmm.
You know when like there's like a close-up shot and they punch someone in the face and
like,
you see their skull explode? That's what it fucking felt like. I go, oh! Like with it. I make that noise. And I don't say anything because he's doing it pro bono, but then he snips it. My face still hurts, and I'm just going, ugh. He comes over to me and he goes, "Hey man, calm down. All right, free doctor."
Right.
No, you fuck.
But your whole thought was like, well, I'm not paying for this, so it should be shitty. Like you should still be able to take it off properly.
Yeah, do your job. You were given to me by the greatest plastic surgeon of all time. I don't know. He felt like it was also like his shop was like in this dirt road out in North California. I feel like this dude did something wrong to be in the position he's in to be doing.
Right. Did you check to see his certificates or whatever on the wall?
Yeah, it's just like, I just walk in, it's his living room. He's like, all right, I got pliers. Sit down. Here's wearing a Hawaiian Trader Joe shirt. Oh my God.
We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, are you sick of taking bullshit from fuckers and want direct help from Greg and myself? We hold a bi-monthly workshop on Zoom for people who not only want to stop taking bullshit from fuckers, but want to recognize fuckers before they even smell the bullshit. We have helped many people from our workshops. Previous attendees have said, "Thank you for the tune-up DTBFF crew. I will definitely utilize this again and again." Go to don'ttakebullshitfromfuckers.bigcartel.com to secure your seat and stop taking bullshit from fuckers. You can also find this link in the show's description.
This is the theme song for What Does This Mean song. The theme song for What Does This Mean song. We'll read a self-help quote, and they're definitely not memes. Memes are something completely different than quotes. Quotes are supposed to help you through all the bullshit in your life. And memes are like that poster of that cat hanging from a tree. And it says, "Hang in there, baby," or "Mondays, am I right? Mondays, am I right?" So if you can think of a different title, then we'll probably change it.
That's my contribution to...
Every week we make people listen to that.
Every week.
We're forced to listen to that.
Oh
Lucky
my God.
them.
Lucky them.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, a couple things. So, Monica, this is our segment of self-help quotes. We bring some
Okay.
self-help quotes. We got Janice White sent in to the email at dtbffpodcast@gmail.com. Says, "Hey guys, love the show. Look forward to it each week. This isn't a meme, but it isn't the point. I just creamed my jeans when I saw this." And it's a picture of Greg's book, He's Just Not That Into You, next to Joyce Meyer's book, God Is Not Mad at You. Put side by side. The full title is God Is Not Mad at You. He's Just Not That Into You.
Yeah. That is a massive meme. I've been getting those for 2 years now.
Are you
Oh, really?
serious?
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Been around for a long time.
That's fucking.
I
so
don't
funny.
think it's funny. I do.
Thank you, Janice.
Lost its charm, I guess.
Bria Patterson sent 5 memes, and I believe she wrote them.
Really?
Ooh.
Well, she just said, I have some meme ideas for the podcast. And I don't know whether these are ideas of memes that she created or maybe just ones she found, but I'll read them. People will notice the change in your attitude towards them, but not the behavior that made the change.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really know where to go with that.
I
Yeah.
had to
I
think
don't-
about it for a second. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of moving parts in that one.
Yeah. This one I think is pretty good. People don't ghost people they love. They ghost people they were using.
That seems like just true, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, right? That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if that's going to get you through the day, but it's true.
Right. That's a real
Might make
positive one. You're just like, yes, that's okay. So that person that ghosted me clearly did not love me. Okay.
yeah. Someone listening to the episode is just, wow, this is not a helpful segment at all.
Right, yeah.
If your absence doesn't affect them, your presence never mattered. Don't waste your time where your present doesn't matter. I think this person's been hurt.
I know. I was going to say, what's going on here? I mean, again, that's just a good, it's a fact.
Some people will sink the entire ship because they can't be captain.
I really like that one.
Yeah, that one's for you, King.
When do I try to take over and make this about me? Huh? Huh, motherfucker? I will drop this podcast into the ocean.
Here's the last one.
Okay.
Fools take a knife and stab you in the back. The wise take a knife and cut the cord.
Okay. Sure.
Okay,
Yeah. Revenge. The best revenge is living well, essentially, is what I'm getting from that.
Right.
Mhm.
Cut the cord.
Cut the cord.
Always be blocking.
Always be blocking. I got 2. I really want to know what you guys think of this. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible.
I think I don't like.
I don't.
You don't like what?
I might not like self-help. That might be the whole thing.
Yeah.
I do have trouble. Like, I'll listen to it and then I like really try to apply it and go, well, that might not be true in this scenario, or like, I don't know if that helps me, or like, how do we get from the possible to the impossible in that one? What has changed?
Right.
Because you're like, oh, that's a nice quote if it was true, but I need it to be applicable and true.
Trust yourself. You have survived a lot, and you will survive whatever is coming. It's true.
No, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. I do. I mean, I get the ones that work for me are like, hey, things have been bad before. They're going to be bad again, but that means they'll also be good again. You'll be okay. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so that one's kind of in that same vein.
Yeah. I mean, not every quote needs to be grabbed and used.
That's true.
We've learned that on this show, that sometimes
Greg doesn't even like quotes anymore. So there you go.
Greg hates quotes. It's his least favorite thing now.
It's just so rare that you read one that really undoes you.
This is what I find. So I have a Kindle, right? And when I read, you can highlight things, but then it'll also show you sections that have been highlighted by other people, like a lot. And I very rarely want to highlight those same things. And so I'm like, why am I not moved the same way 234 people were on this one?
Oh, wow.
But then this other one that doesn't have anything, I need that one. So
Mhm.
I don't know if it's just, I like that stuff works better for me. Like when I'm reading, and I find something in a book or something that just, I don't even think they meant for it to make as much sense as it does to me.
Right.
But then, when we're on Instagram or whatever, and you're like, this specific quote is going to be great for everyone. And you're like, I don't like it. That one doesn't do it. Like, I don't need a picture of a turtle either, or whatever it is.
Picture. You'll last 100 years like this turtle.
Like this turtle.
Alan Brand sent me a screenshot of a girl that he matched with on Hinge. And she had a caption. It's just a picture of her face. And then the caption is #Mondays, am I right? And
wait, that was on her dating profile?
Yeah. So here's that. And he goes, so I'm on Hinge and I see this and I really, really want to reply with, so if you can think of a better title, then we'll probably change it. That made my goddamn day. And then the other thing that I have, Raven Darquois was looking up, he's just not that into you stuff and Greg Behrendt stuff on Instagram. And this made me laugh. He goes, did Greg write Amira's bio on Google? So on Google, it says, for the authors of It's Just a Date, authors Greg Behrendt, American comedian, and Amira, Greg Behrendt wife.
Yes.
You wrote that.
I make her say it.
I got to remind people.
Super possessive. Yeah.
That made
That's
my
amazing.
day.
She would hate that. Let's not share that with her.
Yeah, I was going to say, did she know that?
She would hate
never. Yeah, I would hate that too if it was like they looked up us on Google, like don't take bullshit from fuckers, and it said co-host Greg Behrendt and Greg Behrendt's wife under my name. I would hate that.
It wouldn't be too far from the truth, though.
I do take a lot of your bullshit. Monica, you have one? You have a meme?
I have a meme, or it's pretty corny, I think, but I like it. Okay. It says, dripping water hollows out stone, not through force, but through perseverance.
Oh.
It's the appropriate reaction.
Can you read it again one more time?
Theological.
Yes, I can read it again, of course. Dripping water hollows out stone, not through force, but through perseverance.
Oh, man. That's what I feel like I'm doing to Greg's heart a lot of the time.
Oh my God! I was just going to say, Kane is a constant dripping.
Yeah, I'm making you unclean.
Oh, you are so unclean.
My favorite quote that Monica's ever said is from a story where I say it all the time. I constantly am saying, if there's pairs of something, I will say, can you hand me those, both of them? It's my favorite thing. Monica, can you tell that real quick? It's my favorite story.
Yeah, it was, I think the question was the hardest I'd ever laughed. And I mean, now it would get this gentleman canceled, but we were just hanging out with some friends and one of our friends was all the way across the room and he just started yelling at her and he goes, let me see that. Let me see that. And she was like, what? And he goes, both of them. And she was like, what are you talking? And that's all he would say was, let me see that. Both of them. Which I think she assumed meant her breasts, but she was like, what? Why are you yelling at me like that? And I'm sitting next to him crying because I thought it was so funny. And I don't know why. It was the confusion, I think, was so beautiful to me and the commitment to it. Let me see that. Both of them.
Both of them.
Both of them. BOFEM. Both of them. And every once in a while, I will text Monica both of them.
Yep.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah. When you did, I asked if we would do audio and video, and he just said both of them.
Yep. It's my go-to. It's my fucking favorite thing ever. That's my favorite quote. Let me see that. Both of them.
That's pretty motivating.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows why, but yeah.
Yeah.
I like how lazy that guy is.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't even get up to go take a look himself. He just said, hey.
Can you bring those over here, please?
Monica, you're getting married.
I am engaged. Yes, I'm getting married in, it'll be a little bit, like a year and a half. But yes, we are engaged.
You were dating for quite a while, I know, and then you guys met, and now you're getting engaged. First of all, I want to ask, did you always want to get married? Like, did it always see like something you would want to be doing?
No, but not in the like, oh, I'm never getting married type of thing. I'm sure I've said that at some point, but that was mostly just because it didn't look like it would happen. But I never really was like, oh, that's something I really want to do, or it was just kind of indifference, I guess. I think I was hoping that I would meet someone who I would want to do that with, but I just hadn't really, all the people I dated before, I never really felt like that. So I was pretty focused on the old career and what was going to happen next. And then it just kind of happened, which I think is pretty standard. I don't know. It finds you when you're not looking for it, I guess.
Yeah, we say that a lot on the show. And then, well, how long have you guys been together?
2 years.
And what is it about her that you're like this is forever? This is how I feel. Like, I don't need to look anymore. I'm done with the dating.
I don't want to like simplify it too much, but I don't feel worried.
No, we need you to make it super simple.
Simplify the shit out of it.
Super simple. Our audience needs it really spoon-fed to them.
Absolutely. Every piece of advice that we give is in the title of the show. We've said before, you don't even need to listen.
You don't need to listen. Yeah.
No.
Just perfect. I don't worry when I'm with her. I feel relationships I've had before, I felt like I was trying to make them work and hold on to them when I probably shouldn't have, and things like that. And with her, I just feel like it's where I want to be. I don't feel worried when I'm working, that she's, I don't know, doing something else, or I feel just very secure. I feel we get along. She gets me, she thinks I'm funny, which I think is important. We agree on most things, now we parent together and we agree on all of that stuff. So it's just been kind of easy, which I think was a little scary at first, because I was like, oh, something's going to come out, not to say we haven't had plenty of obstacles, but yeah, I just feel good about it. I think she really likes me, I think before sometimes I was a little unsure or a little afraid that maybe I didn't like the person enough or they didn't like me enough. And I feel like we both really like each other. So that's
great.
Pretty simple, but yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And you said you co-parent, which, first of all, I'm really proud of you for like stepping up to do that. But also seeing you at the show we did like a month or two ago, whenever it was, how you have now described yourself as someone who has stepdad energy.
Yep. I think I've always had stepdad energy. I just didn't know it until now.
That's amazing. What does that mean?
Stepdad energy is, I don't even know. I think, well, first of all, I didn't like the stepmom idea because it was like, they're always evil in movies and stuff. And stepdads are kind of like what I think I describe it on stage as like, if you want to find the stepdads the next time you're at a wedding, find all the people cleaning up the chairs that don't work there. Like we're just here to help and don't really want to talk to people, and whatever you need, we can do. Just kind of chill. I think it's kind of a hippie energy, but not, I don't know. We're just here to help, I guess.
We're here to help.
Yeah, we're just chill and here to help. My dad is a stepdad. Technically, he's not my stepdad, but he is a stepdad. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he's got that same kind of just like go with the flow. But when things need to get done, you get it done. And I think I'm just like my dad.
Yeah, that's how my stepdad is. You never met a more chill guy. Like I was in Florida visiting them, and he hasn't changed even with old age. Like I met him when he was in his 30s, and he has just taken this chill old man energy well into his 60s, and he's just like that. He just sits on his phone, he plays solitaire on a big phone, and he's like, what do you want to do today?
Hey,
like, you're still this fucking guy?
My dad sits there and scrolls through his iPad on his own Facebook wall, like his own wall of things that he has shared. And he just laughs at them. And he just sits there and laughs at the things that he has shared. He's not looking at anybody else's Facebook. It's just, but he's having a great time. So why bother him,
He loves his own posts.
Yes. He likes his own posts. And then
That's
he just...
perfect for him. That keeps him out of trouble of seeing things he doesn't like.
Yes, absolutely. Well, my parents have been together for 30 something years, right? And they shared a Facebook. It was Pam Ron. And then one day I got a Facebook request from just Ron. And I was like, what's going on? What happened? I went home and I was like, is everything okay? And he goes, I'm tired of seeing your mom's hillbilly friends post. So she's from Idaho, so he don't want to see it anymore. So he got his own. I was like, okay, cool.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah.
That's how you find out your parents got divorced. You got a
I was worried.
separate Facebook post. Where's mom? Mom's fine. She's in control of the Pam Ron Facebook.
Yep. She's running the Pam Ron Facebook. No, but I worked with kids for a long time. Like for like 7 years, that was my last job before I did stand up full time. So I've had a lot of experience with it. And I think now, because I've also dealt with other parents, and you're like, we got to go as much as the way that you want to go. And then I can help as much as possible. And so I was just prepared to kind of let her do whatever she was normally doing,
Mm-hmm.
But then this all happened with the pandemic. So I ended up being the parent out of the 4 of us who was with him the most and did all the remote learning. And it really changed the game. I had to be much more of a parent now than I had intended. I was ready to be like the fun friend that just came, hey, I travel a lot and I brought you a postcard, like that would have been. But now it's like I can't travel anymore and I'm home. So I'm the one who's doing all this stuff. And our relationship has changed completely because I'm with him all the time. But I hope eventually he'll be like, that was a really nice thing you did for me. Because now it doesn't feel like that's how he feels.
But did you feel like you were able to switch into that sort of organically? Like it was what had to be done. Did it feel comfortable?
Yeah, actually, it was pretty easy. I mean, I was nervous, obviously, and you don't want to influence them in a bad way. You want them to be the best people that they can be. And I'm really competitive, honestly. So I honestly wanted to like be helpful and have him be able to stay up with his schoolwork and still not have this like lapse and everything because he wasn't able to be in school. And so I was pretty involved more than some of the other parents that were home with them because they had to work all the time or whatever. And I think I just had some experience with helping with schoolwork and different things like that. And so I'm pretty structured. I'm a little bit more strict as a parent than I ever thought I was going to be. But Erin and I she's totally supportive of, the way that I run the ship during school. And also, we have most of the rules. If we talk about them, it's like, oh yeah, I would have said that same thing anyways, which has been really nice. I don't know what it would be like as much if you just really didn't get along as far as your parenting ideology went, but that's been super helpful. And I do really feel like I can be more comfortable when it's just him and I, because we're on the same page together. I feel like it's just an extension of his actual mother. So that makes it easier to be confident in it, I guess.
Yeah.
And the teachers talk to me more than anybody else too. They're like, all right, hey.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if I was put in that position, I wouldn't know. Like as much as I get along with kids, like if I had to like take care of my niece, and then my sister and my brother-in-law were like, "Okay, you live with us, and now you're in charge of her schoolwork," and I would just look at her and be like, "Oh, you're flunking." there's no way around it. Uncle Kane's
Yeah, well, it was a little bit disappointing, I guess, to have to go from being fun all the time and let's play Legos and go outside and go to the park to, oh, we got to do schoolwork now. We got to get your stuff done before we can do those things, and be more of like a structured thing. But I think we've worked it out where we can kind of do both now.
That's great.
I can use that kind of structure.
Yeah, you want me to come over and help you?
Yeah. I really do wish you would tell me what I need to do before I...
Right, you got to finish this before you can play Legos or whatever.
I would love to see Monica over Greg's shoulder, like in a Zoom chat, like for the podcast. That'd be great. Just Monica comes over and she's like, "Sound it out."
Well, what did I say? Yes.
What did I say?
Greg's unwrapping candy, like unwrapping a Jolly Rancher, and Monica comes and slaps it out of his hand.
Just give it.
Give it here, Gregory.
Both of them. Yeah.
Awesome. Monica, before we get out of here, you got a couple shows and things that you do that I love that I want people to be able to listen to and watch and all that. What are they?
Well, I had the 2 albums come out. So the stand-up one's called Mostly Finger Guns. That's on everything, or you could buy it from me, which is nicer. The other one is the guided meditation album that's called Chill, which is also available on all the other things. during this time, I have really focused on YouTube. So I have a ton of stuff on YouTube, new stuff, a lot of stand-up, a lot of sketches and stuff. And then I recently started a new podcast called Dumb Pitches, where I have successful people talk about their worst ideas. But we've also added a YouTube membership part to that. So I have some behind the scenes of my bad ideas, which Kane actually came on and helped me with one of them.
Yep.
And some other stuff. I have a full 50-minute set on there as well if you're on the membership. So lots of stuff. Check it out. Dumb Pitches. Do all the whatever. Subscribe or whatever you're on and you're supposed to do that thing. But yeah, it's been a lot of focusing on that stuff. But I have live shows too. So Monica Nevi, everything's my name, monicanevi.com, @MonicaNevi on social media and whatnot.
Awesome. Please go check that out. We've actually mentioned you before on the show a couple times. You're my favorite and I love you to death.
Thank you.
So do all that for Monica. We would really appreciate it. Also, to get hold of the show, dtbffpodcast@gmail.com. You can also go to Instagram @dtbffpodcast. There we have bonus material and all kinds of other shit. If you want to support this podcast, go to patreon.com/dtbffpodcast. We also have a link tree at the Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers Instagram. So if you hit that, you can get everything. You can get Greg's website. You can sign up for his email coaching. You can get to my stuff, specials, albums, comedy specials from Greg, all that stuff at DTBFF Podcast on Instagram. And Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers.
Welcome.
Hey there, if you like the show, you can find bonus episodes and more at our Patreon at patreon.com/DTBFF podcast. And then rate the show 5 stars on iTunes because it's the right thing to do. All music by the Rating Monarchs, produced by Patrick Kelly.